friends, it's Julie, and today I just want to talk briefly about why I became a member of the National Rosacea Society. And recently I decided that that would be an important decision for me, and that this was an organization, a charitable organization, that has been doing a lot of work specifically for rosacea and rosacea awareness, and trying to promote education about the skin condition, trying to help to improve the way we understand it, the way we treat it. I've been using their website as a massive resource. A lot of times if I'm not sure what the sort of official stance is on something, that's where I go. Or if I've heard a little something, a little rumor or something like that, that, you know, this particular ingredient or this technique helps rosacea, I'll normally go there first before anywhere else to check to see if there has been any research on it or what the sort of mainstream thought is about that particular thing. This is, by the way, this is not a sponsored video. This is not, nobody scripted this or anything. I've been a member for just over a month now, I think, and this is just something that I thought that I would talk about because it's important to me. As a whole, the National Rosacea Society it's an American charity. It's a not-for-profit. They work to raise awareness about rosacea. They also provide public health on rosacea. And they work to encourage and support medical research that could possibly lead to better understandings about what the condition is, what causes it, how to manage it, how to prevent it, and even possibly come up with a cure one day, which would be seriously awesome. When I became a member, I decided to do it because I figured I'd been using the website and everything as a resource for so long that it was time that I actually really got into it. I wanted to lend what little support I could, do my part in giving back, simply in talking about it and further spreading awareness and taking part in all of the various things that they do. While they do provide information, things like that, they're constantly running their own studies, running their own polls, questionnaires, things like that. And then they can kind of get an idea of some of the parts of the condition that aren't being studied by larger organizations. Right now there are a growing number of studies going on by places like universities and medical facilities and hospitals and things like that, but they're normally looking at things like what causes it and how to cure it, which makes a lot of sense. But what the National Rosacea Society also looks into are things like, how does it impact your life? I remember I recently took part in one of their studies that was looking into the impact that it has on your working life. A lot of people find that they are treated differently at work because they have rosacea. They're judged, or they just feel embarrassed, so they don't feel that they could really be confident in their position when they're around other people. It's really hard sometimes when you have a flare-up or when you just feel ugly to step past that, look past that, and be your best. And then beyond that, so many people have never heard of rosacea. They just assume that you're not good at grooming, that you're not clean, that you just have acne, that you have a sunburn, or even that you drink if you have rosacea on your nose. Which is just completely devastating for the people who have it, for people like me. And so I thought this organization is something that I actually want to take part in. It's not just something that I want to sit by and receive the information. This is something I want to take part in and give back in my own tiny little way as well. We each may be only one person, but every time one of us takes part in it, it makes a bit of a difference. When I became a member, it did open me up to a number of extra resources. I have my membership package here, which included the welcome letter and then a copy of their newsletter. It's called the Rosacea Review. When you become a member, you get a free 1-year subscription to it, so I'm looking forward to actually getting those in the mail. It talks about a lot of the latest research and latest developments in rosacea studies and things like that. They can just be helpful in either just understanding, for me to understand it a little bit better, or to actually guide my thoughts a little bit more clearly, give me things to talk about with my doctor, give me things that I might consider trying in terms of lifestyle changes, or just finding out more about online, researching specific topics a little bit more. It also came with a pamphlet called Understanding Rosacea. I didn't find that it was all that revolutionary or anything like that, but honestly, these are all the basics. It talks about what it is, what are the most common symptoms, what are the types, if you're not sure if you have it, what you should be looking for. It's got little diagrams and things like that of, you know, the different, where it presents and things on the face. how some of the main, most basic levels of how it is treated, and it even has a list of the most common triggers based on their research, which I found actually really curious. Sun exposure was the very top one, with 81% of people affected. This list on its own was worth it for this pamphlet. I mean, I've had this condition for more than 15 years now. I'm pretty familiar with what it's all about, but even then, this was really, I read every word of it. It was really interesting, and I'm really glad that I have it. For someone who has only recently been diagnosed, this is a really good condensed piece of information about the condition. Very, very worthwhile. It also came with another pamphlet called Managing Rosacea. And that took the little segment in here about how to treat it, what to do about it, and expanded on it. It has images of the different subtypes, all 4 of the different subtypes, different lifestyle things you can do, personal care, cleansing, cosmetics, things like that. So it's all the kind of basics on, alright, where do you get started when you don't know what to do about this redness and other symptoms on your face. And then finally, I've referred to this in a lot of my blog. If you follow my blog, or if you're on my Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, you've heard me talk about this before. It's the Rosacea Diary. I've never actually had a paper copy of it before, so it was actually kind of cool. They do have a digital copy of it on their website that you can actually print off and use for free, but it provides... basically, it's a diary of all the different things that you can go through to help track your triggers. This type of thing was very, very, very helpful for me, especially when I was first getting started on finding out what my triggers were. It breaks it down into what was the weather like today, what kind of foods did you consume, were they spicy, did you have alcohol, heated beverages, things like that, were you, under emotional stress, things like that. It goes along everything that you should be considering throughout the day so that you can track down and look for trends. If you find you had a flush on this day, and this day, well, what did they have in common? Did you always spend time out in the sun? Was it hot out? Did you have spicy food? Or all of those things? Tracking makes it so much easier to find out what is causing the flare-ups. Not the cause, but triggering the flare-ups. So that is extremely handy. I love that I have a copy of this now. I've talked about it so much. I've used the digital version, and it's just really nice to have this. I'm also really looking forward to the fact that as a member, I qualify to receive samples and things to try out. They'll send me discounts so that I can save on certain things that are very helpful to many rosacea patients. I'm curious to see what they'll send my way and what kind of discounts will be coming, because you know that I'll try a lot of them out and then I'll put them here on my YouTube channel, so that'll be actually a lot of fun. But I also they will offer the chance to take part in some of their research, and that's something that I would really like to do. It's very cool, I think, that I'm doing certain tests on products for myself and for this channel, that just to share what I'm doing. I do love that I'm currently doing a light therapy experiment. I'll put a link to that if you're curious about it. I've done a couple of videos updating already on that. But it's one thing for me to do it and be one person, but with an organization like this holding a larger study, I would love to be able to take part in that kind of thing. I've taken part in a few of their questionnaires, but I wouldn't mind being able to keep up with that, to do my part, to say, this is my experience with rosacea, and see if it aligns with other people and see what we can learn about it because of that. Because this is such a very unique and personal condition. My version of it is different from yours. It's different from the next person who's watching this video. So it's really curious to be able to finally find out links between what I have and what you have, and publish that at the National Rosacea Society's website. That's at rosacea.org. I'll put a link to it in the video description just so you can check it out if you want. So because I have been a part of this for a while now, and it's been a resource that I've been using for quite some time, I thought I'd actually just share this with you and talk about it. And if you haven't checked out a lot of the resources at rosacea.org, it is really something that you're probably going to want to do if you are trying to treat your rosacea or learn more about it, because it is probably the most vast spectrum of information about this condition that you'll find in a single website online right now. They have a lot of free information out there. It's just great to have one resource talking about it in such a broad way, while still supporting a place that is actually spreading awareness about this condition, so that one day we might be able to actually finally go into a store or go to work and not, have someone say like, oh, who spent too much time in the sun, or I know, my cousin has this acne treatment that might help you, and that kind of thing. I hope this was an interesting video for you. I hope it helped you. If it did, please give it a thumbs up, that way I'll know. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, I make new ones every Sunday and Thursday, so please subscribe to my channel. And other than that, I will see you next time.